And finally, a description of the philosophical and political ideological differences between the PSI and the PKI. The Indonesian PSI, led by Sultan SJAHRIR, it was considered the last political party in Indonesia that still promoted democratic socialism in its original form, and which had undergone the philosophical influence of Fabianism, a typical English socialism that bore elements of both anarchism and blankism, with the difference that it was not a revolutionary group, secret society or organization, but it was reformist and wanted to implement the social revolution through parliamentary means. Not only Fabianism distinguished the PSI from its counterpart, the Partai Komunis Indonesia, or PKI. There was also a major difference in philosophical thinking between the two far leftist parties. The PKI propagated a socio-political philosophical school of thought, while on the other hand, Sultan SJAHRIR's party represented both a socio-political philosophy aimed at improving earthly life, but also a more spiritual, mystical, religious school of thought, symbolized by using the Hindu, Buddhist and Jain elephant god, Ganesha, the god of new beginnings and god of wisdom, in the party's emblem and banners. We, nihilists or revolutionary democrats, want to rebuild society from scratch, in other words, a new beginning. And wisdom stands for the intelligentsia as a social group and the role and position that the PSI imposed to the petty bourgeois intellectuals in party, revolution and society. However, what had occurred in Tsarist Russia and parts of Western Europe in the second half of the 19th century and early 20th century also occurred in Indonesia from the mid-20th century onwards. Marxism and later Marxism-Leninism, propagated by the Maoists of the Partai Komunis Indonesia, replaced the democratic socialism of the nihilists here. Thus the non-Marxist PSI, or Partai Sosialis Indonesia, was ousted and politically sidelined by the Maoist PKI, with the support of the army and the PNI, or Partai Nasional Indonesia, of President Ahmed Sukarno, between 1955 and 1960. So, as you can see, democratic socialism, also called revolutionary democratism or nihilism, including Narodnikism or leftist populism, was crushed by Marxism and later by Marxism-Leninism in Western Europe, Russia, and finally in Indonesia from the mid-19th century all the way down to the mid-20th century.